How are ya, people? Rise and shine. It is Saturday. We have made it to the weekend. How are ya? I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Hopefully getting your day started off on the right note. It's going to be a lovely weekend. I mean, it's going to be a lovely weekend. Look outside. There we go. Tower Cam Network right now up in Ocala showing thick fog. And it's not just in this location. We are tracking thick fog in many Central Florida locations. From Ocala, let me take you to the tourist district. Starting to ease up a little bit here. The water park out there, you can kind of see the wave. If you look real closely, you can see the wave of the clouds kind of rolling through the camera's perspective. It's not bad, but there's definitely some fog around. Let's head up to downtown Orlando. Same thing, if you look closely, you kind of see that fog shifting through. That's kind of eerie, isn't it? I love it. Very cool. All right, from our studios in Winter Park, we're looking down from our first morning Doppler radar tower. Not too bad in this location right now. Let's head over to New Smyrna Beach. What? Yeah, that's not just a color palette. That's an actual tower cam perspective. Lake County. Okay, that's cool. That may be my cooler shot of the morning, right? St. Pete Beach. Looks pretty okay to me. Orlando International Airport definitely looking a little bit better. Cocoa down. Melbourne a little bright, but you get the idea. So at any rate, we are tracking fog around. There is a dense fog advisory in effect for Marion County, but I would have argued that we had at least hit the criteria for that to be issued elsewhere. Just didn't get issued, so that's that. Visibility numbers around Central Florida look like this. Pea soup, nothing up there in Ocala. About the same thing for us, Palm Coast, DeLand, Winter Haven, particularly thick in New Smyrna Beach as well. So you can see it's pockets of thick fog. It's not necessarily widespread. And if it's not thick in your area, give it a minute. It may get thick in the area. So yeah, Debbie's reporting pretty foggy in New Smyrna Beach. Debbie, good morning to you. Let me get caught up on all these comments. Tina, good morning to you. Brandy, Frank, Nancy, good morning, good morning. Taylor, good morning. If anyone is going to the Ormond Beach Parade tonight at 6, I'll be walking with my daughter's school. Very fun, Taylor. I love it. I love it. Good morning to you. Hope everybody's having a good one. Chris says probably 3 to 5 mile visibility in Lake Mary. I mean, that would kind of back up what we're seeing on our sensors, Chris. Thank you for the update, buddy. Watch the surfers go out, but come back in. Mary Lee says yes. There is a very dangerous condition at the beaches. If you're heading that direction today, a couple of things. First off, it's not a good weekend to do it, okay? And I say that because the rip current risk is high. It's dangerous out there, okay? And so, Mary Lee, as you say this, it makes me feel at least a little bit better. Surf running 5 to 7 feet. The waves are big. The water temperatures are chilly, so just stay on the sand and you can enjoy the temperatures climbing through the 70s. You'll be able to enjoy your day, okay? So there's that. That's good stuff. What about the rest of us? Let's take a look at our forecast, right? This morning, the fog is around, but that lifts and gives us a gorgeous Saturday. 77 1 o'clock, 80 degrees by 3 o'clock this afternoon. It is going to be just lovely. Chris says Coco not awake yet. Half of us are not awake. Listen, I had to go. Let me tell you, okay? I didn't want to make espresso in the weather center today because I was tired. Like, this is like such a, call it a first world problem, whatever you want to call it. Call it a paradox of sorts. I didn't want to make espresso because I was half asleep. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to use the Keurig. Keurig in the weather center's not working. Okay. Michelle Imperato's desk, Keurig's not working. Sheldon Dutez's desk, Keurig's not working. Like, what does a guy got to do to brew some coffee? Keurig in the control room worked this morning, thank God. So here we are. Hopefully you're having some coffee too, getting up and at 'em. So fog is around this morning. Let's take a look at Futurecast's fog tracker because there's kind of an interesting little thing playing out here, okay? The Futurecast fog tracker, here's 9 o'clock this morning, still with the fog around. Even if you drink coffee, you're going to be in a fog. By 10 o'clock, it starts to thin out, but it's still with us. 11 o'clock, still foggy in spots. And then by lunchtime, we're just about good to go. We're just about clear. So we're looking better and better and better. through the day itself, okay? Temperature-wise, 70s and 80s, partly cloudy skies, mostly sunny skies. It's going to be gorgeous once the fog does its thing. It just has to do its thing. Yeah, so not too bad. Ryan says, can't even see the lake in my backyard in Flagler Beach. It's definitely foggy this morning, absolutely. Not looking forward to this cool front on the way, Foggy in Deltona. Thank you, Bill, appreciate it. Yeah, there's a cold front on the way. It depends which model you choose, though. That's the kind of funny thing about it. Ed says, wife is on the beach doing yoga in New Smyrna. That sounds great to me. I love that. Let's see here. There just cannot be coffee talk without a beverage. Well, look, there wasn't going to be WESH 2 News without a beverage. I made it through the first half an hour of sunrise. It's like 5:15, and I'm walking these halls like I'm a zombie on Halloween trying to find a dang coffee maker. Here we are, though, and I think the mug says it all. This is fine. This is fine. Just grabbing my coffee. This is fine. Bruce says, I need my coffee. Me too. Me too. Yeah. Carla, good morning. How are you? How are you? Hope you're doing well. I can't wait until the 40s get here. So let's talk a little bit about the long-range forecast. All right, let's start with our 7-day forecast, and then we can move forward, okay? So 7-day forecast is showing some stuff. First off, we've got high temperatures in the lower 80s today, high temperatures in the lower 80s tomorrow. Yeah, looking gorgeous. Then Monday, a very weak backdoor cold front moves through, brings us a couple of showers, drops the temperatures just a tick or two. It's not really much, but it is a cold front. What it does is it helps to set the stage for a late week cold front, and that late week cold front is going to be the real deal. I mean, it's going to be awesome, okay? Cheryl says cold front equals a fire pit. Oh yeah. I have not had a fire pit since my old one fell apart, so I definitely need to get a fire pit for the house. I've got the Adirondacks, I just need to get the fire pit going. So anyway, Thursday, showers around as a cold front moves in. And then Friday, do you see those temperatures? Let me bring it full screen so that you can really see that up close. You see that? 67 for a high temperature on Friday. 56 for a low temperature on Friday. What? Yeah, there's some real changes. Now that's the forecast. Let's look at the computer models because the computer models are not quite in alignment, okay? So here we are, and let's just say Thursday. You've got both models showing a strong cold front in the vicinity. But the GFS backed off on it again, that stinking thing. So what you've got is the Euro clearing us out, pushing in the chill. The European is giving us the chill. The GFS has once again decided it doesn't buy it. That's particularly frustrating to me, for what it's worth. Particularly frustrating. So here we are, yet again, dealing with that. Yeah. Cool. So, we're leaning much more on the European forecast model than the GFS forecast model. We just are. So here's a look at the raw data from the two of them, and we're just going to stop this right here. All right, 10 a.m. Thursday, looking good, both models. There's Thursday. Let's do this. Yeah, we'll just stop it right here, okay? Both models looking very comfortable. Friday morning, both models are looking nice, though you can tell the European is very different than the GFS by Friday morning, right? Let's go to, this is 9:30, 10, 11 o'clock. Big difference, right? Let's back up and just look at this is Saturday morning, a week from right now. The GFS says, no big deal. The European model says, oh, hold on to your socks, big deal, big deal, big deal. Yeah, so very different between the model runs. Yeah. Now, the GFS has been going back and forth. One model run, the GFS says cold. One model run, the GFS says warm. The European is kind of like determined you're going to get cold air. So I find that particularly interesting. Definitely an interesting little statistic to watch. Give the GFS a kick in the butt and get it moving. I know, Joanne, right? And what's funny is this is a brand new, newly upgraded GFS. I don't know. We'll see how it works. Brian's asking, GFS would mean no cold temperatures? Correct. Yeah. Yep, that's exactly right. Joanne says, come on, Euro. Frank says, love the Euro. Yeah. Rosebud says, in this case, I prefer the GFS more. I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting to see what ends up being accurate, you know. Look at Saturday lunchtime temperatures next week. Yeah, that would be a shock to the system. And then Saturday night into Sunday morning. Let's look at Sunday morning. Yeah, that's Sunday morning. December 18th. That would be a shock, right? Yeah, so heads up. Just a heads up. Tiffany says, coffee and sweaters, I'll take it. Wouldn't that be lovely, transitioning toward Christmas with that kind of a situation? Taylor says, I had looked away from the rain futurecast as it was turning off for Sunday. Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting anytime you see this play out, where you get two models showing completely different scenarios. On the GFS side now the GFS side is going wet, because what it's ending up doing is just throwing moisture at us over an old frontal boundary, whereas the European would keep all that moisture south of us because the front is south. So, yeah, very interesting stuff. Becca says, I like the Euro. I love cooler weather. Yeah. Karen, next week we're looking at 4 different days calling for snow. We hope for a white Christmas. Meanwhile, here in Florida, we don't know anything about that. You know? I want cooler weather so much, just not Sunday. I'm sorry. Looks like the GFS gets colder after Sunday, so it's slowed down. Yeah, well, it's kind of what ends up happening is the first front dies, and then it gets a little kick in the head, and that's what helps it get colder. So timing is everything, but at the same time, it's just a matter to see how it works. It'll be interesting to see how these play out. Betty says, I just want less humid nights. Is it humid to you? I feel like it's been quite lovely. To me, it's been a very lovely setup. I don't know. Ann says, no Euro, please. Just know, no matter what happens, I don't have control. As long as you know that. As long as you know all I'm doing is I'm taking all the data and getting the best forecast I can for you. As long as you know that, as long as we're on the same page here, then we're good to go. Mike says, I don't miss having to shovel snow at 4 a.m. I'll take the cooler air without the snow. I've never done that. I have no desire to ever do that. So I'm right there with you. Rosebud, Mickey wants to know what a backdoor cold front is. Okay, yeah, let's talk about it. Don't lie, you control all the weather, right. So look at this perspective, okay? So this is our weather picture right now. You see how we've got a cold front kind of draped over that area of high pressure? That's cool, okay? Watch what happens. So tomorrow, what you're gonna end up seeing is this high is going to start to break down and drop off. And as it does, it's going to open the door for this front to kind of move in. Most cold fronts move in from the west, normal cold front. So whoever, and I don't know who named it, but whoever named it basically said, oh, if it comes in from the other side, it's called a backdoor cold front. Right there. You see that? Let me rewind it for those not paying attention. Watch the east coast of Florida. See how their front kind of course, hold on, let me reload it because the computer got grumpy. Wait for it. There. You see that front sneaking in from the east coast? That is what's called a backdoor cold front. Ingenious. Okay. So that's the answer. That's the answer there. Yeah. What effect on your perspective of the two if one of the models is clearly is wrong? I mean, we're leaning, Chris, we're leaning very much on the European scenario, but we're kind of hedging bets. You know, the European doesn't handle temperatures incredibly well. So we're definitely, you know, so if you notice, like Friday, let's just look at the model data here. So Friday, the European is saying 50s for highs, right? The GFS is saying 80s for highs. We're definitely edging a little higher. Right now we're saying 60s. Now we may drop it, but you know, we're definitely leaning in the euro overall, but we're hedging bets. And that's just me being very transparent with you on the overall forecast there. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Just say no to snow. Former Philly girl, never going back. Oh yeah, you found the right place. Listen, we get a couple of flurries every couple of years. It's not going to happen anytime in this 7-day forecast, that I can assure you. It's almost pool weather, you know, like I've turned my pool heater off because I would be the only one using it, and I'm not going to run the heater just for myself, but it's almost pool weather, yeah. Samuel's asking, what's the actual difference between them? Different data sets or something? The data sets should be about the same. The difference is going to be how they do it. So think about this. If you and I have a conversation, so Samuel, say you and I are sitting down and it's Thanksgiving, okay? If you and I talk politics or religion, we're going to start a fight, right? Isn't that why everybody says don't talk politics or religion? That's why we don't talk about it in coffee talk, right? Because no matter what, it's different. You see things different than I do, right? To what degree, sure, we can question it. But at the end of the day, you see things differently. So the models are the same way. They take the data set and they just see things differently. That's all. That's all. I'm happy to see it's supposed to be nice on Tuesday. My solar system will be installed on Tuesday. Oh, very good. Yeah, you've got great weather. Facebook and I are not friends today, Debbie says. We're on Twitter, although you can't comment on Twitter. But we're also on YouTube Live. You can comment there. We're live, baby. Yeah. We're live. All right, so any other questions, comments, concerns? It looks to be nice. But listen, you know, that Friday forecast, let's just talk about what Friday could look like based on all the data that we are seeing, okay? Friday morning, we'll wake up to temperatures we think in the 50s. Area-wide, it's going to be a nice cool start to the day. What about Friday afternoon, people? Holy moly. These are high temperatures. Now understand, once we get a clearer perspective of the European and the once the models start fine-tuning, right now you're talking about a 30-degree difference between our two major global models, right? Once we kind of fine-tune that, we could adjust this, but this is what we're looking at right now. Friday afternoon, excuse me. Oh, good gravy. Friday afternoon, highs in the 60s area-wide. And it may be that is a midnight temperature and that temperatures fall through the day. Sometimes with a scenario like this, you end up basically watching falling temperatures through the entirety of the day. Friday could be a candidate for that. So, yeah, it's going to be a dramatic change to trigger my Bachelor television show voice. It's going to be the most dramatic cold front yet. Yay! That was my Chris Harrison. Although, wait, he was kicked off the show. That's bad vibes. My apologies, people. I have kids. I don't get a chance to watch trash TV as much as I used to. Opening the windows that day. Oh, for sure. And that weekend forecast, y'all. As long as the European is right. Now, I'm going to be surprised if the GFS wins. I think the Euro is going to win. The pattern just supports the Euro's solution much better than the GFS. So we'll watch. We'll watch. Jan says, I have big baking weekend starting next Saturday morning, hoping for that Euro forecast. Yeah, you and me both. I mean, I'm not baking, but although, can you make a key lime, like my signature dessert is key lime pie. Can you make that in the winter? It's Florida, for God's sake. I just haven't made my key lime pie in a while. Mickey says, I just want it to feel like Christmas. Cold weather is a must, at least just for a bit. I actually agree with you. Florida cold though, right? Like I just think we need to have some cloudy days. We need to have some cloudy, chilly days to kind of get you in that mindset. Why is CBS Saturday Morning talking about the Chappelle Show? One of the greatest shows, way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time. Key lime pie is a valid choice anytime here. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, thank you. Makes me feel better. We'll be walking in a booth for the next 6. Oh, no, Becca, I'm sorry. Julie says, key lime pie needs no specific reason. Thank you. Thank you. How much time, Ernesto? Under 2 minutes. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns before I have to go running? Taylor, squirrel, right? Questions, comments? So listen, enjoy this weekend. It's going to be unbelievably beautiful, right? This upcoming week, we've got that weak front that moves in on Monday, brings a couple of showers. And then, yeah, it's turning cold late this week. It's beginning to look and feel a lot like Christmas. All right, people. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'll be tweeting and all that fun stuff through the day. All right? All right. Bye, y'all. Take care.